प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कृतिथा पुराणमेन मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अमृतत्वमनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणी.
We are on 17.
So basically the glories continue. And thereafter Arjuna will only, he will only project what he can make out from what he has seen, and he will project further. Let us see. Yeah.
17. Kiridinam gatinam chakrinam cha Yajurasim Diptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durnivicham Samantat Deepta Nala
Deepta Ashalarka
Iksham Samantha Pashyami Tvam Durnirichyam Samantat Deepta
Nalarka Jitim Aprameyam.
Vitim Aprameyam. Om Swami.
Om, welcome. Yeah.
Om Pashyami, I see you. Kiritiram, as one who has a crown. Who has a mace.
17th, so Prashant.
Chakrinam cha, and who has a disc. Tejo Rasim has a mass of brilliance. Sarvataha Diptimantam as the one who has light on all sides, effulgent, Durinirichyam, difficult to see, Samantat, from all sides, Dipta Anala Arka Dutim, who has the brilliance of a conflagration and the blazing sun. Aprameyam, who is not knowable as a limited object.
Basically, this is the Shankara Kada Pane Dwarakan Leachura, the typical Vishnu Swarupam, what generally people have in all temples and all that. That is what is being talked about. Yeah.
I see you as one who has a crown, a mace, and a disc, as a mass of brilliance with light on all sides, and therefore difficult to see from every angle, as one who is having the brilliance of a conflagration and the blazing sun, and as one who is not knowable as a limited object. Arjuna says, I also see you in the form that we invoke and worship, wearing a crown, kirita, and wielding a mace, gada, in one hand and a disc, chakra, in another. His third hand extended offering refuge and safety, Abhaya. The fourth is pointing towards his feet, asking you to come there, as though saying, if you come and surrender to me, I protect you. The other two hands
Mamekam Charanam Raja is written on that hand, which is pointing towards the feet. So that is that typical Abhaya Hastam and Trivadi Charanam. Yeah, both.
The other two hands are for destroying. This is why Vishnu or any other form of Vaishvara is depicted with four hands. You need not be afraid of anything because Bhagavan has all the missiles necessary to protect you. Gada is meant to take care of a threat that is nearby or at close quarters. And Chakra is for remote danger, remote in terms of both place and time. Chakra is a very great weapon. It will travel miles and destroy. Thus Bhagavan gives you abhaya. In order to protect you, he has to destroy the danger of samsara, both immediate and remote. Further, he has these two types of weapons. Arjuna also sees Krishna within the cosmic form. In the same form, people invoke Lord Vishnu. He sees it as a column of brilliance, effulgence, Tejo Rasi. Within that alone is everything. A form of such blinding brilliance can only be seen with difficulty. The light is from all sides, samantat, like the light of fire, the sun or lightning, dipta anala arka dyutim.
Anala means something like glowing fire which cannot be satisfied. So wild fire sort of. And arka is brilliance, light. And diti is in the ditim, in the sense the akasha. Like diti means vast. Yeah.
A brilliance diti equal to a conflagration, dipta anala, and the blazing sun, dipta arka is what Arjuna is seeing here. And it is aprameya. Shankara makes it clear how it is aprameya. Prameya is an object of your knowledge. What happens when you gather a piece of knowledge like that of a flower? The flower is limited, parichidna, by a vritti. Because the flower has a form, your antakarna is able to objectify that, excluding every other object. The flower becomes loaded in your mind. Every other object is omitted and you can see this object, the flower, distinctly. Therefore, the word prameya refers to a discrete object, or prameya can mean something that is to be understood as yourself, which is not an object. But here, Arjuna is objectifying the cosmic form, even though it is too vast for him to contain in a single vritti. So it is aprameya. Shankara defines it carefully here as that which cannot be circumscribed, ashakya paricheda.
Ashakya paricheda meaning paricheda is covering, ashakya means not possible. So not possible to cover. So when he says aprameya, it is not that it is not something. Even Atma is supposed to be aprameya, but it is aparoksha. Aparoksha meaning self. So even though it is aprameya, even though it cannot be objectified, but still you can know it because it is you. Whereas here this aprameya, what he is talking about, is still seeing it outside, but it is not comprehensible because it is too vast and too brilliant. So that is the meaning of the word aprameya. That is why he says ashakya paricheda. You are not able to do it. Even though it is outside, you are seeing it, but you are not able to judge it totally because it is not possible. Ashakyam. Ashakyam means not possible. And the paricheda, because it is not, it is boundless, outside, in the Vishwarupa. So that aprameya is different from the aprameya which is being talked about self later. Yeah, that is what he wants to differentiate. That is why he has made this ashakya paricheda.
Paricheda means boundless, huh?
The paricheda is bounded. Paricheda is bounded, but ashakyam, when he says ashakya paricheda means bounded but not possible for me to comprehend. Ashakyam. That is why. It is bounded, in the sense it is outside, it is not you, he is seeing it as other. So to that extent it is bound, the other. But at the same time I cannot see it fully. Because it is too bright and too lighter and too covering. Yeah.
It is not available for distinct understanding. This distinct understanding is possible for a small or even a large object. But when every object is included, how can you limit it? It is not possible to understand it in a limited form. That is why it is a cosmic form. So when Arjuna says, Aprameyam Pashyami, it means I am not able to say this is you because everything is you. Here the word Aprameya is not used in the usual sense of that which is not an object of knowledge. In that sense, it used to refer to Atma because it is not an object, it is you. Shankara says that seeing that everything is included in the cosmic form, Arjuna now makes an inference.
So now makes an inference. Basically now it is not what he sees, but what he infers from what he has seen. Yeah.
Tavacharam paramam dveditavyam tamasya vishwasya param nidanam tamavya
Tvam avyayaha. Tvam avyayaha. Shashwata
dharma kota
dharmakopta.
sanadhanastvam purusho mado me.
Purusho mato me.
Tvam, you are aksharam, imperishable, paramam, limitless, veditavyam, to be known. Tvam, you are asya vishwasya, of this world, param nidanam, ultimate basis cause. Tvam, you are avyaha, not subject to change, shashwata dharma gopta,
Yeah.
protector of the perennial eternal laws. Tvam, you are Sanatanaha, eternal, Purusaha, the complete being, Iti, Mataha, me. This is my appreciation. It's my appreciation that you are imperishable, limitless, the one who is to be known. You are the ultimate basis, cause of this world. You are not subject to change. You are not the protector of this perennially.
You are the protector of the perennially eternal laws.
You are the protector of perennially eternal laws. You are eternal and you are complete being. You are the complete being. Seeing everything within the cosmic form of Krishna, Arjuna understands him as the cause of everything, Jagat Karanam, which is Param Brahma. What he has heard from the Shastra, he now sees for himself as true. I appreciate that you are Param Brahma, the one to be known, Veditavya, by every seeker, says Arjuna. Shruti says that there are two types of knowledge. One is para, the other apara. Dve vidye veditavye para, cha apara cha.
Yeah, that is in the Mundaka Upanishad. Dve vidye veditavye paracha aparacha. So that he defines, yes, yeah.
Para is the knowledge that has its subject matter, the Akshara Brahma, the changeless Brahman. That is to be understood through the pramana of all the Vedas, Sarvaihi Vedaihi, as oneself. It is possible to infer this from the vision of this cosmic form. Every form is seen here, nothing is omitted, and every one of them is Drishya, so they all become Mithya. According to Shruti, the Adhisthana, the essence, is Param Brahma. The only Adhisthana here does not change, and in whom all these forms appear is Atma. But Arjuna does not take his inference that far. He understands only that Krishna is Jagat Karana, the cause of the world. Nidanam is that in which something is placed or has its base. The axle, for example, is the nidana for the spokes of a wheel. Here Arjuna recognizes Lord Krishna as the nidana of everything, that wherein everything is misplaced. He says, I understand that you are the ultimate basis of everything. Tvam asya vishwasya param nidanam. Param nidanam, the ultimate basis, means cast here. Everything has its base. The pot has its basis in clay, the chain in the gold. But the ultimate basis is you, says Arjuna. Tvam avyeha. You do not undergo any change. Why? Since all these forms depend upon you, I infer that you do not undergo any change. You are aware, says Arjuna. He makes another inference and says, you are the protector of the eternal laws, Shashwata Dharma Gupta.
Shashwata Dharma Gupta.
Shashwata Dharma Gupta. Shankara says, Nityaha Dharmaha, while explaining the word Shashwata Dharma. It refers to the eternal law, the order that never changes. that because of which creation after creation comes into being in the same form. And Arjuna says, you are the protector, Gupta of the Dharma. Arjuna understands now, I see you as Ishvara, so he recognizes him as Param Brahma and also as Parameshvara. Shall I read? No. He says, you are Sanatana, eternal. And further Arjuna says, this is my appreciation, Vevataha. Shankara explains the statement of Arjuna in his introduction to this verse in the following manner. He says in the words of Arjuna, O Lord, because of this vision of your Vishwarupa, I infer Anumi know me.
Anumi know me means that I am Anumanam, I infer. Yeah, Anumanam.
That you are imperishable, limitless, Brahman. Arjuna says, I appreciate what the Shastra says about you. That you are Param Brahma, the cause of creation, not subject to change, Avyaya, and so on. All these words I now appreciate as true. You are the complete being that includes all and is the basis of all. Arjuna makes an inference on the basis of his perception of the cosmic form. It is not merely an inference, however, because what he concludes is also revealed by the Shastra. But because he has said, Me Mataha, we understand that he has only Paroksha Jnana. Therefore, Shankara says in his introduction to the verse that Arjuna is making an inference. He says, Anuminomi, I infer, paraphrasing Arjuna. All this is a setup to reveal an Upanishad Bhakya. The second chapter of the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, Yada, He Vaisha, Etasmin Udaram, Antaram Kurute, Ata Tasya, Bayam, Bhavati.
Yada hi eva yesha, yada hi eva yesha, yetasmin udaram antaram kurute atatasya bayam bhavati. In the sense, yada hi means if indeed, that is, he means indeed, if indeed, eva yesha, in the sense, eva yesha, meaning yesha meaning what you see, eva, if you look only that etasmin udaramantaram kurute adatasya bayam bhavati. In the sense, even if you have, which I have explained before also, etasmin udaramantaram kurute, matlab, whatever he sees, he is seeing the vastness, as is told by the Shastra, in terms of what is told as an understanding, he is by the grace of Krishna, by the cosmic form, seeing, he is able to see the vastness, the eternity, the unchangeless, all those things he is able to appreciate. But there is a udaram antaram kurute. He sees it as the other, which I have always been telling. As long as you see the glory of Ishvara as the other, that means you are not including yourself in that. So, Bayam will be there, Bhakti will be there, but along with that the vastness will give you the Bayam. That is precisely what happens to Arjuna also. Just read. Yeah.
Here Atma, the self, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma.
Swamiji, this Uttaram Antaram Kurte, what is the actual meaning? Udaram Antaram
Kurte. Somebody is.
Krishna, after this verse is over, you start next verse. Okay. So, let Amma read, I will read the last. Okay. Right? So, we will read this again.
You read
next.
You read next.
Yes, yeah, tell me.
Here,
this Udaram Antaram Kurute, what's the exact meaning? Udaram Antaram Kurute.
Ut means just, ut means just, ut basically ut means little, that's all. Ut.
It's not
Uttaram, like udaram, what we say, no? Lips. Between the lips, what is the gap? There is only a very small gap.
Oh, okay.
So uttaram meaning a very small gap. That's all it means. Udaram. That even Udaram has been, maybe it has come from that word only, Sanskrit word only. Udaram, we say, no, Udaram, lips. It is the lips. We also say, in English also there is a usage. What is that? What is the gap between the lips? Gap between the lips.
Cup and the lip.
Lip, like that. That is called Udaram. The small difference, even a small fraction. Udaram, Antaram. Antaram means gap. Udaram, Antaram, Kurute. Kurute means if you make even a small difference between you and Ishvara, the vastness, the glory, he will be always afraid in life. You may see cosmic form. Bhagavan may come and stand in front of you, but if you look at him as the other, you will be only afraid. That's what he's trying to say. He will follow it up. Later also he will say that in the next verse. Yeah.
So Aram means
Antaram. Ut means small. Actually, Ut means literally meaning in the Sanskrit. The Ut meaning is very small. That's all. Ut very small. Aram is gap.
okay. Antaram.
Antaram also is a gap only. Aram means. See, Aram means it's only a abhyaya, like what do you call it? It's something like a suffix. Uttaram, like that. It is a usage, that's all. Ut is the main word, main dhatu in this. Ut is the main characterizing the word Udaram. Yeah.
Here, Atma, the self, which is...
He has mentioned, no, below he has mentioned, see, Ut, even, Aram, a fraction of, Antaram, different. Footnote, it is there. You can see that, yeah. Ut, even a small fraction. That is what. Aram means fraction. Uttaram, actually it is a suffix for the word Ut. Ut means it doesn't stand alone. It always comes with a suffix. The suffix is Aram, which is explaining the word Ut means small fraction. Yeah.
Here, Atma, the self, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the cause of everything, is being discussed. With reference to the appreciation of that Brahman, if anyone were to make even a fraction of a division, Uttaram Antaram Kurute, such as Arjuna seeing himself different from the cosmic form, then he will have fear. Atha Tasya Bhayam Bhavati. Arjuna is going to be frightened by what he saw because he did not include himself. From this we understand that what he is saying here is purely inference based on what he has heard from the Shruti and what he sees. The result
is the cosmic form. Yeah.
The result of his cosmic position is no more than this. But what we have to understand is, I am that Param Brahma. That becomes immediate knowledge. If Arjuna had understood that, then he would have spoken differently.
See, when he says immediate knowledge, what exactly he means is aparoksham. Aparoksham meaning not other than including myself, and if the entire thing is, the whole thing is one, then not even calling it including myself, it is myself. Including myself means there again there is a slight difference. But here it is not including, actually the immediate knowledge, aparoksham is complete. That is why even this particular Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, before it starts, Swamiji will always say, I think I have told before also, he will say, quietly he will say, Ishvara is limitless. Limitless is Brahman. Actually Brahman means, meaning the etymological meaning of the word Brahman is Brut Dhatu, big. Without qualifying anything. As I have told, big apple, big mosquito, no. Jab, the big. The big means Brahman, limitless. So that is the meaning. The limitless is. And it is also limitless, meaning it does not have a time and space bound. That means it is not an object. So limitless is, you are, therefore you are limitless. The whole Shastra is over. Limitless is, you are, therefore you are limitless, the equation. So that is how we will start. So that is not what he is understanding. Here he says, what he says, immediate knowledge. The immediate knowledge that I am that Param Brahma should be approkshena, matlab as you, as the being, it should be immediate knowledge. Whereas his immediate knowledge is because he is seeing it in front of him. But nevertheless, as other than himself. So it doesn't get the full vision. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
If Arjuna had understood that, then he would have spoken differently. He would have said, I am everything, I am you. The whole language would have been reversed. As we see at the end of this Taittiriya Upanishad, with unrestrained joy, Bhrigu says, I am Annam, all the food. I am Annadaha, the one who eats the food.
I think all Parayana, Veda Parayana and all, they say this very regularly. Ahamannam, 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 Ahamannado, Ahamannado, Ahamannado. In Samagana, people will say that because when he is in ecstasy, that the student, the Shishya, Bhrigu, is the third part of the Taittiriya Upanishad, third Valli. Once he has understood thoroughly, he expresses his joy saying that Ahamannam, 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 Ahamannado, Ahamannado. See, not only I am Annam, the Annata Jarika, in the sense even the person who digests Annam is also me. I am also Annam, so that means what? Everything, all that is changing is me. I means that I am changeless. That is what he finally understands, and he expresses this understanding by singing like this, Ahamannam, 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 Ahamannado, 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 like that. So, that is not the understanding Arjuna has at right now. He is only seeing the cosmic form and saying everything right about what Shastra says, but from the basis of his perception of cosmic form. That is only temporary. Once the cosmic form goes, he will go back to his limited person which he is. That is what he is trying to explain. Gita, as far as Shankara tries to explain, that this is not the, even though the words are all correct, but the understanding is not complete. Yeah.
And Shloka Kriti, the creator of Vedas, Taittiriya Upanishad 3.10.6. This is the cry of a person who appreciates the Atma as himself. Earlier it was said that the one who knows himself as Brahman does not have the twofold problem expressed as, why did I not do the right thing? Kim aham sadhu na akaravam. Why did I do the wrong thing? Kim aham papam akaravam. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.9.9.
Yeah, this is that again that comes later. That is, once a person knows that in the second chapter itself, he says, he goes on telling, Tasmat etasmat atmanaha akasha sambhudaha. From me only akasha has come. From akasha vayu has come. Akasha vayu, agni, agniyor apaha. Apa pridhivi, pridhivyor oshadibhyaha, oshadibhyo annam, annado purushaha. Now, Savayesa Purusho Anna Rasamayaha, Anyontaratma Pranamayaha, Anyontaratma Manomayaha, Anyontaratma Vijnanamayaha, Anyontaratma Anandamayaha, not even Anandamayaha, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, Na Bibeti Kutaschaneti. That Bhayam that comes, no, Udaram Antaram Kurute, that goes out. So once he says, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, Na Bibeti Kutaschaneti. Na Bibeti meaning never is going to be afraid of Kutaschana iti at any point in time, anywhere. Why? Because I have understood that Anandam Brahmano Vidwan. One, the Vidwan understands that I am Anandam. Then afterwards he says, Kimaham, he will not even have this Kimaham Sadhuna Karavam, Kimaham Papam Akaravam iti, because whatever that Karavam and Akaravam, that is what I could have done, and what bad I did not have done, all that Atmanam Pashyati, Atmanam Sprunati, meaning all are within that being only. The being is a reality. All this happen, like even the Vishwarupa, the changes, keep on changing, all the changing things. Kimaham Papam Akaravam, Kimaham Sadhana Akaravam, all this was happening in my life, but Atmanam, now that I have understood, Atmanam Pashyati, Atmanam Sprunati. I as the being, I understand that these things could have been avoided, this could have been done better. But it doesn't, that sense of regret or sense of guilt and hurt is not there, because I have understood that my reality is that what subsists all these things. Whatever has happened, that guilt and hurt and all, everything is happening in the relative, not in the absolute being, now that I have understood. But if I had understood this earlier, I would not have done anything wrong, and I would not have done anything, I would not have avoided anything right at any point in time. That's what he says. But he doesn't have, right now, he doesn't have the regret or guilt or hurt because he has understood the truth of life. That he tells later. That's what Swamiji is referring to now. Yeah.
But that is not Arjuna's situation here. His understanding that Brahman is Jagat Karana is Paroksha, where he does not include himself. If he had, there would be no 12th chapter. Prashant, you can read.
Yeah, Prashant. I can read now. 19th verse. 19th verse.
19th verse. 1 second. Anadi
madhyantam. Adi madhyantam. Adi madhyantam means beginning, middle and end. Yeah.
Anadi madhyantam anantaviryam anantabahum shashisurya netram pashyamitvam digdahu tasavatram swatejasa vishvam idam tapantam.
Actually, this I think the meter is slightly different. Yeah, you can read it. She can read it, I think. A different meter is there, no? Understood?
Pashyamit, you want me to read the sloka again or you want me to...
Yeah, sloka.
Meter different இருக்குல்ல
Different meter.
Anantavidyam anantabahum shashisuryanetram pashyam deeptahutashavakram swatejasa vishwamidam tapantam.
Yeah.
I read it from English, I should have read it from Sanskrit. That's a mistake.
Yeah. Hey, the meter, no, and the next difference, yeah.
Shyamitvam, I see you as Anadi Madhyantam, one with no beginning, middle or end. Ananta Viryam, one of limitless power. Ananta Bahum, one with endless arms. Shashisurya Netram, whose eyes are the moon and the sun. Dita Hutasa Vaktram, whose mouth is like the blazing fire. Swatejasa, by his own light. Vishwam Idam, this world. Tapantam, as one who heats or energizes. I see you as one who has no beginning, middle or end, with limitless power and endless arms, and the moon and the sun for your eyes, and mouth like the blazing fire, who heats or energizes this world by his own light. In this cosmic form, I see you with no beginning nor end, nor any middle between the two. Anadi Madhyantam, says Arjuna. Anywhere he looks in every direction, Arjuna finds only the Vishwarupa, the cosmic form. Not only that, now he sees my Krishna as almighty and says, you have Anantavirya, a Shakti, power that has no limit. And again Arjuna sees him with hands and legs everywhere, Anantabahu, and he sees this cosmic form as Shashisurya Netra, a form that has the sun and the moon as the eyes. This is part of the classic description given for visualization and meditation upon the cosmic form. The sun and the moon are the eyes, the space is the body, heaven is the head, and Prithvi the feet. If there is a cosmic form for the Lord, viewed from this planet, what could his eyes be other than the sun and moon? Hutasha means one who eats all that is offered to him, that is fire. That fire is Deepta Hutasa, a very well lighted blazing fire. I see the blazing fire as your mouth, Vaktra, and I also see you as heating up, energizing the entire world. Swatejasa Vishwam Idam Tapantam. Tyava Pritipyoridamantaram. Tyava Pritipyoridamantaram hi vyaptam Vayekena Dishascha Sarvaha Drishtva Bhutam Rupamugram Tavedam Lokatrayam Pravyatitam Mahatman.
Yeah, you can read it once more. Yeah.
English பிரிச்சிருக்கா பாருங்க பிரி
Dyava Prithivyoridam Antaram द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदम् अन्तरं हि व्याप्तां त्वयैकेन दिशाश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वा भूतं रूपम् उग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यतीतं महात्मन्. Mahatman, O Lord, Dyava Prithivyoho idam antaram, the space between heaven and earth, Dishascha sarvaha, and all the quarters, he indeed, Tvaya ekena, by you as one form, Vyaptam are pervaded, Tavaidam Rupam, this form of yours, Adbhutam, which is wondrous, Ugram, frightening, Drishtva, seeing, Lokatrayam, the three worlds, Pravyatitam are shaken. Indeed, the space in between heaven and earth and all the quarters are pervaded by you as one form, Lord. Seeing this wondrous, frightening form of yours, the three worlds would tremble. Arjuna sees this cosmic form of Krishna pervading the entire space. He says the space between heaven and earth, called Antariksha, I see is pervaded by you as one person. Similarly, all the quarters, Disascha Sarvaha, east, west, north, south, and then northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and so on, all of them are pervaded by you alone. Anyway, I look, I find your form alone. Anywhere I look, I find your form alone. He sees that the whole Jagat is Ishvara, naturally everything is going to be included. He addresses Krishna here as Mahatman, the one whose Atma is Mahan, the all-pervasive, accommodating the whole creation. This cosmic form is Adbhuta, something wondrous which has never been seen before. Then again it is Ugra, most frightening, and seeing this, Drishtva, all the three worlds, Lokatrayam are shaken by it, Pravyatita. It is not that they are really shaken, this is only Arjuna's way of saying how frightened he is. The form is so overwhelming that seeing it, all the people in the three worlds should be shaken.
He is shaken, so he says the world is shaking.
How can the cosmic form be frightening? Only if it is seen separate from yourself. This is Arjuna's problem. If he had included his form in that form, there would be no problem. If you are everything, who is to be frightened? If you are everything, who is to be frightened of what? Only from a second thing can there be fear. Dvitiyathi bayam bhavati.
Dvitiyathi bayam bhavati.
Dvitiyathi bhavam bhavati. And there will be safety. Sorry, Swamiji.
He means indeed. He generally is an avyayam used for the meaning indeed.
Dvitiyathi bayam bhavati. And there would be no second thing if he had included himself. Even after seeing this vision, Arjuna remained basically the same. He has softened a little and understood certain things, but nothing more than that. In fact, he did not really have a cosmic vision. How can a vision excluding you be cosmic? It is like a wave seeing the entire ocean minus itself. It is not seeing the entire ocean. Arjuna only saw a world within the form of Krishna and therefore was frightened. The next verse he talks about his fright. Shankara introduces this verse by reminding us of Arjuna's dilemma in the second chapter. He had said that he did not know which outcome of the war would be better, victory or defeat, killing whom we do not wish to live. Those are the people standing before me. Te avastita pramukhe. Can someone read the footnote?
Second chapter.
6. Yes, refer to that full stop that Krishna lament.
Gita 2.6.
2.6. Doesn't he laments, no, saying that all of them are my relative and all that. That part of it is referring to. Yeah.
In order to resolve that,
Bhagavan actually has given the initial Upadesha. In spite of that, he feels, still he was not convinced. So he says that Te avastita pramukhe, they are all my people standing before me. That he was still, even after Bhagavan has told, Asochan anvaso chastum, Vagyam bhagam shabhasasa, gataso nagataso, nanu sochanti panditaha, and nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo, all those things he is saying. But in the 2 point, that is, after that is 2.11 onwards. Okay, before that, Arjuna concludes saying that after all his justification, saying that all of them are my people. How can I really They are all, say, Avastita, Pramukhe, all important people. Pramukha means, Pramukh we say, no, very important people in my life. How, they are all standing in front of me, how can I kill them? That's what he is lamenting, just before the Upadesa. Yeah.
In order to resolve that, Bhagavan presented enough features in his cosmic form for Arjuna to infer a decisive victory for the Pandava clan and the fate of all the Dharta Rastras.
Dhartarashtra means Dhritarashtra's Makkah people. So Dhartarashtra.
Dharta Rastras. Seeing that Arjuna said the following, Ami hitvam Surasankhya Vishanti.
Sangha means together. Yeah.
Ami hitvam
Surasankhya
Vishanti Kechit Bita Jalayo Grananti Swasti Yukva Maharshi Siddha Sanghaha Pantitva Stuti Pushkala Vihi He
Surasanga Vishanti Kechidita Pranchalayo Gunanti Sati Kutva Maharshi Siddha Sanghaha Stuvanti Tvam Stuti Pushkala Vihi.
Can I read it once?
Yeah, repeat.
Ami hitvam Surasankhya Vishanti Kechit
Sankhya, not Sankhya. Sangha. Yeah.
Ami hitvam Surasanga Vishanti Kechit Pita Pranchalayo Grananti Swasti Yukva Maharshi Siddha Sankhyaha Stuvanti Tvam Stutibhih Putkalabihi. He indeed, Ami Surasangaha, Sangaha, these hosts of good people, Tvam Vishanti, are entering into you, Kechit, some, Bitaha, frightened, Pranjalayaha, with hands folded, Grinanti, pray, Maharshi Siddha Sangaha, the groups of rishis and siddhas, yogis, Swasti, let there be well-being, Iti Yuktva, having said thus, Bihi Stuti Bihi, with praises full of meaning, Tvam Stuvanti, worship you. Indeed, these hosts of good people are entering into you, some who are frightened, pray with hands folded. The group of rishis and siddhas, yogis, having said, let there be well-being, worship you with praises full of meaning. These hosts of good people, Surasangas, Shankara says, are the devatas like the Vasus as well as good men who have come down to remove the burden upon the earth. This burden is not the population as the Malthusian theory claims. According to Robert Thomas Malthus, the economist, the population increases at a faster rate than its means of subsistence, and unless it is checked by war, among other things, there will be widespread poverty and degradation. This is what is exactly in India right now, right, Swami?
Hey, that is there, but now the theory is changing. That he is explaining now. Yeah, read.
It's not population that burdens the earth, it is the growth of adharma that burdens the earth. The company of any number of good people is not a disturbance, but if there is one problematic person, everything can be ruined. It is something like eating a bad peanut. No matter how good the other peanuts are, once the bad one enters your mouth, that is the end of it. Your mouth and stomach are spoiled. Here too, the weight upon the earth is the predominance, prachurya of adharma.
Prachurya of adharma. Means saturation. Prachurya meaning saturation. Yeah.
That's why Bhagavan said that he would come whenever there is a decline in dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Not whenever there is excess population. In order to cut down the weight of adharma, these good people, Surasangas, come. Even individually, adharma does weigh you down. Whenever you do a wrong thing, it pains your heart, that is the weight. Whenever it becomes predominant upon the earth, these people who are born of devas come here in the form of human beings, all of them are entering into you. Arjuna says, these various human beings, Manushas, who have come here from the Devalokas, are all entering into Bhagavan. What does it mean? It means I see them dying. Among those who are assembled in the battlefield, some of them kechit are frightened, beetaha. Both sides, the soldiers and even the chieftains and great warriors are afraid. Lord Bhishma, Karna, Jayadratha and so on are not ordinary people, yet they are afraid. Nevertheless, they have come. Either they are convicted of the cause or Duryodhana. Either they are convinced of the cause or Duryodhana the king has conscripted them. But even if one is convinced, one should fight. When the situation finally presents itself, everything is different. The bravado with which the challenge was made dissipates in the face of the reality of the battle. All problems arise only at that time. In any challenging situation, whether it is a battle or public speaking, there is always a last minute fright. These frightened warriors stand with hands folded quietly saluting the Lord. Pranjalayaha grinanti. All dressed in armor, standing in the middle of the battlefield with this very rough exterior, they are frightened inside and are offering salutations to the Lord. These are our Artha Bhaktas. Devotees in distress. Devotees in distress. Grinanti, they salute, quietly repeating all the verses they learned when they were young. Shankara adds that there are others who are so frightened that they are not even capable of running away. How can they when they know that Duryodhana will kill them? They are also frantically imploring Bhagavan inside. The sages are also praying. There are two types of sages. The Maharshis like Vasishtha, who are Vedikas, and the Siddhas like Kapila, who are Yogis. Both groups, Shankara mentions here, are seeing bad omens on the battlefield that foreshadow the coming destruction. Therefore, they prayed, let there be well-being, swasti, meaning let the impending destruction not be total. Having made this prayer, they worship you with praises that are full of meaning. Swasti iti yuktva stuvanti tvam stutibihi pushkalabihi, to mollify the inevitable destruction. There are others who are also able to see the cosmic form without being given a special divya chakshus. Arjuna tells who they are in the next verse.
I'll continue, Prashant.
Yeah.
Rudraditya vasavo yecha sadhyaha Vishveshvino maruta choshma pascha Gandharvayaksha surasiddha sanghaha Nikkande tvam vismitaschaiva sarve. Rudradityaha, the Rudras and the Adityas, Vasavaha, the Vasus, Echa, and those who are Sadhyaha, the Sadhyas, Vishve, the Vishve Devas, Ashvinau, the Ashwins, Marutaha cha, and the Marut, Vishmapaha cha, and the Ushmapas. Gandharva, Yaksha, Asura, Siddha, Sangaha, cha. Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and Siddhas, Sarve, all, Vikshante Tvam, are looking at you, Vismitaha, san, being struck with great wonder, eva, indeed. The Rudras, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishve Devas, the Ashwins, the Maruts, the Usmapas, and the host of Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and Siddhas are looking at you, being struck with great wonder indeed. All the Devatas, the 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, and a group of Devas called Sadhyas are looking at this cosmic form along with Arjuna. All the Vishwa Devas, the 2 Ashwins, and the 7 groups of Marut Devatas. Then there are the Ushmapas from the Pitralokas and the group of Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and Siddhas. All of them see you and are astonished. Vikshante tvam vismitaha cha eva sarve. Gandharvas are the celestial musicians, some of whom have onomatopoeic names like ha, hu, that characterize their singing. Then there is another type of celestials called Yakshas, headed by Kubera, the presiding deity of wealth. And there are asuras, not ordinary asuras, because then they would not be able to see Ishvara, but exalted souls like Virochana, son of Prahlada and father of Mahabali, who underwent a dramatic conversion to proper thinking. Then there were the Siddhas like Kapila and so on. All of them, the whole host of them, see you with great wonder, Arjuna says. He sees all these exalted beings awestruck as they view the cosmic form. Then further, Rupam Mahatte Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurupadam Bahudaram Bahudamshtra Karalam Drishtva Lokaha Pratyatithastataham. Mahabaho, O mighty armed, te your Mahat Rupam, immeasurable form, Bahuvaktra Netram, of many mouths and eyes, Bahu Uru Padam, of many arms, thighs and feet, Bahu Udaram, of many stomachs, Bahu Damshtra Karalam, of many protruding teeth, Drishtva, seeing, Lokaha, people, Pravyatitaha, are afraid, Tatha Aham, so am I. Krishna, the mighty armed, seeing your immeasurable form of many mouths and eyes, of many arms, thighs, feet and stomachs, and of many protruding teeth, the people are afraid, and so am I. Your form, Lord, is Mahat, is inconceivable, immeasurable. That is wonderful. But the problem here is, Arjuna is frightened. He makes it very clear here. He does not know how to deal with such a form. Suppose we see a creature from another planet. How will we respond? Even though it may be armless, we will be frightened because our minds move in a categorical fashion. If we come across a new creature, we must categorize it. Then we feel safe. But anything we cannot categorize is a problem because it is seen as a potential threat. Here, Arjuna sees countless mouths and millions of varieties of eyes of all kinds of color, some blue, some green, some yellow or red, all in one form. It is Krishna who is addressed here as Mahabaho and not Arjuna. Krishna was earlier seen as Mahabahu, mighty armed, now has become Bahubahu Urupadam. He has not two but many arms, Bahubahu, as well as many thighs, Bahu Uru, and feet, Bahupada. And more than that, Arjuna sees many canine teeth projecting from the gaping mouth of the cosmic form, Bahu Damshra Karalam. That is what makes him so frightened. The Rakshasas typically have two canines protruding that gives them a frightening appearance. With many canines, what fear would this cosmic form strike in Arjuna's heart? Besides this, there are many stomachs, Bahu Udara. Like a shark, half the body is teeth, the other half is a stomach. Seeing this, people are frightened, and so am I. Not many people have seen this form, but whoever has, Shankara asks, would be shaken by fear. Whether they would or not, Arjuna says here, I am afraid. Later he says, your mouth seems to be always open, and I see all the Dhartarashtras, the sons of Dhritarashtra, entering into it like moths falling into the fire. They are all caught between your teeth and munched by the jaws of death called time. I see you devouring the whole lot of them, and therefore it is frightening. Then he asks, tell me, who are you? When he asked Krishna to assume this form, he did not know what he was in for. Now he finds that what he has asked for is too much for him to handle. So he asks Krishna to return to his original form and give him further knowledge. At any time, the creation is not separate from the Lord. The Lord is independent of the creation, but the creation can never be independent of the Lord. Though the creation is nothing but Ishvara, you do not see Ishvara because you are limited by your perceptive powers. The sense organs have limited capacity for perception and the further limitation of not seeing things accurately. Sometimes they even see things that are not there. Even if your sense organs are not defective, what you see is always a part of what is there. So you cannot appreciate the whole. Here Arjuna has a chance to see almost the whole minus himself because of the grace of Krishna. Seeing the cosmic form, he is even able to make a clear inference that Krishna is the cause of the creation, the one who is to be understood. Therefore, Arjuna has the advantage of seeing something more than what his sense organs, especially the eyes, can see. Because he separates himself from this vision, he is afraid. That is what is pointed out here. It was said, the Lord gave him a Divya Chakshus. If he had included himself in the vision, it would not be a Divya Chakshus, but Jnana Chakshus. Had his vision been non-dual, he would have gained fearlessness. Abhayam Pratishtam Indate. There cannot be a source of fear because you can only be afraid of something other than yourself. But if there is anything other than yourself, however small, that division is enough to cause fear of everything else. What is not you is so vast. It is infinite and you are so very small and insignificant. If you see something as big as the whole cosmos minus yourself as Arjuna did, you will be even more frightened. Even what is in the range of your limited perceptive powers is too much to deal with. Everything seems to be so big. If you look at the stars and think about the distances involved, it is staggering. If you are able to see much more than the eyes can see, you will definitely be frightened. That is what happened to Arjuna. Even though he wanted to see this cosmic form, he did not know what he was in for, and now all he wants is some peace. The reason for Arjuna's fear.
Yeah, if you have a problem reading, we can continue tomorrow from this verse.
Yeah.
Too much of reading we have done, because these things are all very descriptive, nothing much except that you have to understand the whole thing is the cosmic vision is trying to picturize what the wholeness, the vibhuti of Vishwara is. But nevertheless, whatever you may see with the Divya Chakshus, whatever it is, unless you understand however vast, the changing will keep changing, continuously will keep changing. And you are basically changeless. So, your identification with changeless alone will give you this lasting Shanti, not the changing capacity to see the changing in all its glory, however big and however powerful your eyes and your vision, even scientists for that matter, all the yogis and all that, however much they are able to see the vastness of the creation changing form, that is not going to give you Shanti. The Shanti is possible only with the changeless, because there is a reality. When you are going to be at home only with your reality, not the appearance of the changeless changing, which is nothing but the changeless in name and form. It is your own glory, its own vibhuti, but still that seeing that is not going to help, because it's continuously changing, whereas your value is for the changeless. So that is precisely the understanding is all about. The changeless is you unless you get the Jnana Chakshus, that understanding. Jnana Chakshus means what? Understanding. That the changeless is appearing as changeful, glorious. Like that we have to understand that. Unless that understanding happens, you are going to be frightened. That's what the crux of the whole Vishwarupa is. So that he is going to explain in the coming verses. We will see that tomorrow. Yeah.
Only one question I have.
Yeah.
Why did Arjuna want to see his form like that?
Because he had told the vibhutis one by one. He was in the sense in tapas I am yajna, in all yajnas I am tapo yajna. In all among the great, all the warriors I am Arjuna. Like that he was telling only the sample that tribe like something very exalting among the vibhutis one by one he was telling you as an example. Then he got curious. Once he said, if you can, one example itself is so big, suppose I am able to see the whole thing together at one shot. Then it would be really nice. He felt that. It was just a hallucination, I would say. Just fancy. So he satisfied his fancy also. At the same time, he gave him the Upadesha saying that no amount of fancy will help you. Unless, even though you may see the whole Vishwarupa cosmic form in person, That is not going to help you unless you get the understanding. So that is a very big learning for Arjuna and to him or for all of us. So no question of trying to do all the even in a lot of Vedikas and all, anything and everything they do, like people want to go for sarga, people want to do all the big rituals, and all that they want to get that siddhi, power to see everything, Bhagavan, I must be able to see and all that. It's all there in the world also, but in different forms. Here, he is asked about the cosmic form and he is shown, but he has told clearly, this is not going to help. You have to only understand. The understanding the changeless is my reality and Ishvara's reality. That is the Upadesha, that is the Brahma Vidya. And that understanding alone will give you Shreyas. Not any amount of prayers is not going to give you Shreyas. Prayers is prayers, it goes on changing. And continuously, it will be growing, no doubt. It will be continuously changing. You won't be satisfied with that. That's what he's trying to say. We'll see that tomorrow. Yeah.
पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ